So this is just a remembering type video about the 1990s. Uh, I was born in 1993. Okay, classic 90s baby child, and I just wanted to explain to people maybe a little bit more about what the 90s actually was like, because I think it's a little bit more painful. I think, despite the fact that there's a lot of humor and there's a lot of happy, joyful memories in that decade, but I think there was something very disjointed um, about the 1990s. I don't know exactly how to pinpoint it. Um, I think this decade where you were approaching the millennium, um, there was a lot of a lot of a lot of television. Um, I think there was a lot of technology that had just kind of really come into full swing, and we were this generation being raised on The Simpsons, being raised on such saturated, fully sort of intact media, and we were watching that all the time with our families, and we had this kind of Americanized. So I'm from Ireland, so I'm speaking about from that perspective. But I think across everyone growing up that decade, there was this very full on barrage, and of course we see it that hasn't really gone away, but it was like hearing things then um, from the 60s, sort of hourly. So you're hearing stories from the 1960s, but you're seeing this new wave of, I suppose, American kind of modern culture just coming straight at you. But you're hearing this kind of story about Mayo in the 1960s that your parents are telling you about, or you're just it's Father Ted on the one hand, but it's Homer Simpson, and it's this kind of you're a child in the middle of these two uh kind of disparate worlds, and you're trying to conduct yourself. It kind of probably explains why we're a little bit dysfunctional now, is that you're trying to make sense of these two different worlds, the old and the new, and you're the child in the middle. Um, in 1995 and in 1996, trying to sort of stay true to the idealism um, of both of these kind of spheres. And it was very explosive, I think, growing up in this decade, because I think American culture that had fully just come into its own was very aggressive. It was very full on violent depictions. American. I think even now, Americans are actually quite aggressive in their worldview, and I think we were sort of victims. I don't want to. I don't. I don't want to. Can't go too much in that direction, but we were just caught in that place where there was this old world shit coming in from, like, the 1950s, our parents kind of shit, and this very new um input, this new in influx, and trying to negotiate that, I think, um was impossible. Really, I don't think we fully grasped how difficult it was. And even being a child going out to play, I think it was very tumultuous. I think that the aggression that was coming at us from the media was inside us. We were acting that out in the playground. Kids we'd have stone wars. I don't know if kids still have stone wars. I'm sure they do now, but there'd be a stone war at the back. There'd be a stone war down the road, and someone would just a kid, a 5-year old or something, um, suddenly has gotten a stone hitting the temple, and they're lying on the ground, and you're trying to make sense of it, and then their parents come out and they're furious, and you're trying to sort of you have no way to say why you probably did it because you saw it on The Simpsons, and you have no way to explain to this poor child's father, um, why this has happened to his son, and we are met with this wall of aggression then, and it's like I'm just trying to explain the type of thing that would happen. It was just we were this kind of like generation that I think we were kind of squashed out of the conversation in a huge way. So look, this is just part of a series I'm trying to do, and this is episode 1.